Well, this is it. The last few moments we have before we're off to adulthood. Our adolescence was brief, but definitely notable. I mean, look at me. I'm 5'8", and I have a creepy mustache. From mercy trips to staying up late recording English projects, we spent our time well here. I can personally say that we have succeeded with all the achievements and honors our class has been awarded. Although a person's definition of success is subjective, it is undeniable that we have succeeded given our situation. In the context of COVID, our class spent the whole year in confusion as we went through one of the most critical moments of our lives, graduation. Now, as we close out the year, my mind can reflect on a few moments from my time here that made cramming for AP exams and forcing myself to stay awake during class worth it. With rampant edginess, I was a menace. I stripped through halls looking for victims. My victims were a broad set of people, indiscriminately. I annoyed everyone I saw. An annoying, musty version of myself. I harassed people in ways I can't describe. Nothing illegal, of course, but maybe illegal things would have been better than what I once said. It was the year I discovered anime, and perhaps that was a bad thing. After this year, most of my classmates had developed cliques and devoted themselves to some niche that interested them. However, I didn't have a friend group because I was so cool and everyone liked me, of course. I couldn't give one group all of my attention. If it wasn't clear, it's a satire. No one liked me because I was a weird freshman that screamed a lot. So yeah, I would say anime made me cool and hip to my fellow youngsters. Sophomore year, with an abundance of stupidity and forgetfulness. This year was not the easiest for me. Definitely the worst year of my time in high school, but for good reason. I made friends this year and entered a few friend groups, but still, I found myself isolated. I felt like I wasn't an actual member of the friend group, but a reserve that people would call upon to entertain them. Luckily, I outgrew this sentiment and realized that people wanted to talk to me, but I was too distant. This was all good and all, but what made this year awful for me was my class load. To be blunt, I thought I was a brilliant student because I passed through freshman year without really applying myself. So when I went to sign up for classes for the next year, I accidentally took too many difficult classes. I was surprised why I failed so much. My study habits were awful at the beginning of the year, and I often left my work to play Fortnite. Then, it was cool to play Fortnite. I was not a loser, I promise. In particular, I found my English class challenging. I'm not very good at writing or reading comprehension, so I was immediately put in my place when I entered the class. Fourth grade reading level was my place. I don't know if it could have been worse, but it was not very easy. After that year, I developed studying skills that worked for me, so it was a learning experience. Not a fun one, but I did learn that I am stupid. Junior year, with awkward interactions with the girls and the start of COVID. I don't consider myself smooth by any means, but this was the year where I discovered I had no moves. No one taught me anything, and when I was put in situations where I could talk to girls, I fumbled a lot. There isn't really a term for a person like me. I guess loser or whiffer would be good, because I have gotten close to a few people, but then it is always my stupidity that would bring me down. One time, I thought it'd be a good idea to tell a girl that I am a registered sex offender in the state of Guam as a satirical joke. I'm really quirky like that, but astonishingly, she ghosted me. Can you believe that? I wonder where I went wrong. Nevertheless, this was the year where I overperformed in school. I got better grades than I expected and went on to get above a 4.0. I even wrote poems about my friends and their underbellies. Yeah, this was the year where I worked hard and everything went right. So basically, junior year was my favorite year of high school because I realized I was straight and I made more friends. Senior year, with the full implications of COVID and my end of school. COVID has changed everyone's lives in many ways, but to me, the isolation was the hardest part. Beginning of quarantine was like a whimsical break that allowed me to stay out of school, but as time went on, I grew older and I got weirder and weirder. Sadly, I went from hanging out with my friends to binge buying things off eBay. It was something I didn't tell my friends I did, but I did snipe some auctions off eBay for relatively low prices. My time during COVID wasn't spent wisely. I didn't learn much, but I can say that I learned how to distinguish between Republicans and Democrats, just by appearance. My prejudice also increased during COVID. This year was the year that I realized how politically charged the country was. I love the expression of political freedom. It's something that I've come to realize is a big part of our country. I was a stupid kid in prior years, not really paying attention to the news. Now, I watch every day. As I close out this project and my experience in high school, I'm sure my whole class will unanimously agree with me that there were not enough times we played Kahoot. I'm just kidding, we played Kahoot enough times. Okay, but seriously, my time here was not the typical 4 years in a learning factory to have a teacher poop you out. It was a time where I learned who I was and what I wanted to do. As I look to the future and proclaim that I'm a mature and wise person that has my things together, I know it can change in a moment. I'm grateful for my teachers and the effort they put in place, even when students were apathetic. To conclude, I have one final statement. Thank you, Ms. Patma, and all my other teachers I've had throughout these years, for your time and patience during this year and years prior. I hope you'll do well in the future. I will come back each summer happy in memories that we made as a class. Although it wasn't much, I enjoyed our time together. Thank you.